Hello, friends. My name is Dane Miller.
And my name is Niall Spang. And we are your fuck buddies.
Yes, we are. Hello. How are you?
Me or the audience?
You.
I'm all right. I'm very warm.
Yeah, it's a scorcher in Toronto today. It's almost 40 degrees outside.
Yeah, it's fucking
And
wild.
I am in a nice, toasty closet.
Well, lucky for some.
I don't think it's me. I mean, if you're talking about everyone who's not in this closet right now, yes. They are the lucky some. Do we have anything to intro to for? Or are we just gonna go for it?
I don't know, man. It's like there's so much shit going on that like I feel like if we get into it, we'll just not get out of it. I don't know. It's like we all know it's a really crazy time right now. So like I guess it feels weird to not address it. Like I don't want to be like we're ignoring it, which obviously we're not, considering we did a whole episode last week, but Black Lives Matter, and it's a really crazy time right now. And like again, our thoughts and support go out to everybody who's protesting and who's making a difference, and it's pretty badass what everybody's doing. So
yep, we are still with you. We're still supporting you, and we will be until we solve this thing,
until we die.
Yeah,
like I'm not gonna stop the support. But yeah, so we're releasing a normal episode this week, and hopefully, just because I know I've heard of people online who like, they need entertainment. They turn back to entertainment or to whatever to take their mind off these things, or like in the downtime when they're rebuilding their energy to go out and protest. So I don't think stopping, is necessarily going to help. I don't know.
Everyone needs to unwind, and we know that there are people who look forward to this. So I don't think we do anyone a favor for not doing things. Also, we started this podcast for a reason as well, and it's our way of protesting things like rape culture and toxic masculinity. So we haven't lost sight of that, nor have we lost sight of what's happening currently. Mm-hmm. It's all just we're all working towards things. So without further ado, shall we get into this? Do you want to start us off?
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I got 9 questions. I'm gonna roll good old D8 for you.
Okay.
Actually, I got 10 questions.
Well, I guess a D10 would do it.
Is it bad that I thought it was like, do we even have a D10? Okay, so these are gonna have no rhyme and reason to them, because I'm just gonna roll a dice today to figure out which questions we've got. The very first one that we're gonna go to is throwaway avocado sand from Seduction. Is seeing a woman in a towel generally a turn on? I have 2 male roommates, one of which I find attractive, who I share a bathroom with. Just wonder if he might notice me ever, because I wear a towel after I shower and go to my room.
This is on Seduction?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Is seeing a woman in a towel usually a turn on, Dane?
I'm gonna say maybe this is a hot take, but I don't think it is.
Oh, okay. Continue.
Because towels completely remove any sort of like shape. You're pretty much just draping a box over you. There's no sort of revealing of anything more than a dress would normally do. I think I guess you could have the idea of like being like, oh, she's naked under there. But that's true about literally anything that you wear.
But you're slightly more naked.
Yeah, I guess. I don't think there's anything exceptionally sexy about someone in a towel. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion.
Okay. I kind of get it, because as you say, there's like they're naked under there. There's also the risk, right? There's any wrong movement that could come cascading to the floor. But like, I don't think it's much more sexy than pretty much anything else. I feel like if they're not attracted to you, being in a towel isn't going to be the thing that pushes them over the edge. And if they are attracted to you, being in a towel isn't going to be the thing that makes them, ugh, you know what? No.
Yeah, never mind.
I feel like kind of it's like a zero-sum game where like it's going to be slightly more of what already exists. If they find you repulsive and you're in a towel, they're going to be like, well. If they find you attractive, they're like, right?
Yeah, I don't think anyone who... Yeah, if someone is disgusted by you, that's not going to change by seeing more of you.
Mm-hmm. Also, how long is this towel? Like, is it a very skimpy towel? Is it a long towel? Is it like a towel you got when you were 7 years old and has like, the 7 dwarves on it and is also kind of rather than fadey? Because not so hot. or more hot if there are like, holes developing in it because you've had it for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of a list of things I would rather catch my roommate wearing, like my sexy roommate wearing, than a towel. Yeah, I mean, literally anything. Yoga pants, like her workout gear. Like, I'd rather see her sweaty from the gym in her, like, yoga pants and sports bra. I think that is more, sexy than catching them in a towel.
Fair.
Also, I was about to feel real skeevy about saying that, and then I realized this is the woman asking men
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
men find. So it's like, all right, but yeah, no, like I don't think. I, like I said, on a list of things I would like to catch an attractive woman roommate situation wearing, the towel is my least, probably towards the bottom.
Yeah, I kind of get it.
I would rather see them in comfy pajamas. I'm
That's
not
fair.
talking
That's
about
fair.
anything sexy. I'm talking about like big baggy pants and like a big, baggy t-shirt or sweater. I think that would be more attractive to me than seeing them in a towel.
Okay. There are there are some really interesting comments. I think that's the main reason I brought this uh, to the table. But like in general, firstly, let's get off the page. Like I really don't think you're gonna sway someone wildly by all of a sudden wearing something different or doing something different, right? Like if you're not attracted to someone and all of a sudden they put a dress on, they're not gonna be like, wait a minute, unless like usually you just like completely hide yourself from their view. You know what I mean? Like unless you're
Yeah.
revealing them a brand new surprise, I don't think it's gonna radically change anything. It might do a little tip over the edge, but in general, I don't think it's gonna really.
See, I would argue that has more of a likely scenario. Like if someone I only ever work with, like for example, Amanda,
Mhm.
when we worked together, the uniforms weren't exactly complementary to a lot of people's bodies.
Yes.
The first time I saw Amanda out of her work uniform, I was like, "Oh, dang!"
Yeah, but
And
I'm
I
so
think,
I get what you're saying, and you are right. However, there are two things. One, it's not like you weren't attracted to her. So as I said, it's not going to just wildly change it. And two, living with someone versus a uniform are kind of different things because I'm assuming, and as I said, unless you're like constantly like hiding yourself away or like you're going to wear different clothes, so it's not like they're only going to have seen you in one thing.
right? Yeah, I gotcha.
I feel like it's not going to make a wild difference anyway. But on to the comments. Are you ready for something by deleted? They
Sure.
were deleted. Depends on the person, I guess. People are attracted to a whole variety of things. My roommate purposely rips my towel off so I feel exposed. Then she sucks me. Next time try doing that to your roommate.
The fuck? Yeah, I like that his thing. She's like, "Am I going to be attractive to sexually assault your roommate?"
Yeah. Also, it's just like my roommate rips like I don't like so I feel exposed that she sucks me. It's so
Yeah.
like bizarre and aggressive. There's a lot of comments I won't read out because I can't. Um, Here's one. If you already like them, definitely. If you don't, it's not likely, but possible they might be turned on by it. It won't make them have real feelings for you, but maybe they don't normally find you attractive, but notice something about you they didn't see when you were fully dressed. But again, it won't make someone have real feelings for you. Just a boner if you're lucky. Also, if he shares a bathroom with you and you aren't already
Hell
in a
yeah.
relationship, he may very well be grossed out by you. Seeing period blood on the seat and unflushed poop ruin any attraction I have with my old roommates.
The hell's wrong with these
all
people's
these
roommates?
all these comments like start a certain way and then all of a sudden it just like it just veers. You're like, oh god, what? Someone says not if it's your granny. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I think this person who's your polar opposite, for me, hell yes. It would drive me wild when an actress has shower/towel scene in a movie. The fantasy of a woman's towel dropping made me create an entire subreddit for it years ago. And there's an entire subreddit dedicated to people in towels.
I mean, yeah, it's rule whatever it is. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like if everyone is into something, you know what I mean? Like if you think of it, if you fathom it, there are people out there. There's a community out there that is aroused by it.
Yep.
So I'm not going to say that people aren't going to be turned on by people in towels.
Yeah,
So
I feel like there are
I don't
better.
know what this. I don't know what the advice is for this woman.
I
It's
guess the
like if
advice
you're
is that there are
attracted
better
to your
ways to
roommate,
come on to your roommate than just wearing a towel.
because one, it's a very normal thing. You know what I mean? It's like, how else are you going to get
Yes.
from the shower to your room unless you get dressed in your shower? It's like, it's not a sexy play.
So the thing is, there's more wrong with if they were like, this is a come on, than if there weren't. Because can you imagine every single listener who has a roommate who wore a towel from the bathroom was like, oh shit, I think she's into me. Maybe I should
Yeah.
rip it off and suck her.
Yeah, I think like I mean, if you're stopping by his room and leaning in his doorway, and then oops, I dropped my hairbrush and picking it up, and if that's your move, then okay, maybe sure, but like yeah, no, just you going about your normal day to day business that literally everyone does is not
Mhm.
a surefire way to garner attraction.
It's not even a fire way. It's neither sure nor fire. So yeah, don't do that. Find a smarter way. Be straight up.
You know what? We're gonna keep it in the bathroom.
Hell
This
yeah.
comes from Reddit user Zgrams. We've had
Mhm.
something very similar to this, but I think this is a new dynamic. Um, so I've known my boyfriend for about 2 years, and he's always been a super clean person. He brushes his teeth for like 10 minutes every time and showers daily. However, recently he has been making a lot of jokes about pooping in the shower. At first, I thought he was joking, but the bit has been going on for like a full week. I'm starting to notice some weird residue on the shower walls after he's done in there. Or maybe I'm crazy? I don't know if it's sexual. Do you think his joke is just a way to gauge my reaction in order to decide if he wants to be honest with me about his strange possible fetish? How do I even approach him about this?
Ooh, this is a spicy one.
Right? It's a little twist on the classic boyfriend pooping in the shower.
I do feel a lot of times people joke to broach subjects, in a
Yeah.
tepid sense, right? Like they're testing the waters, they're dipping a little poopy toe in there. What's this residue? Because like,
that's yeah, that's what's like
shit
I
is shit, right?
yeah, it
There's
doesn't
not
I
really much in between shit and being cleaned that would lead me to be confused.
also I wouldn't call shit smears residue. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
residue to me makes me think of like a chalky substance. You know what I mean?
I
Like
100%. I thought of powder.
yeah, like that's a residue. If he's like shotgunning shit against the walls,
Also, do
then
you guys not shower together?
I mean, like I imagine maybe once or twice, but like I don't think it's weird to have to shower alone more than together.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, for me, shower time is like my personal meditation time.
Really?
I have no problem showering with Amanda, but I will often be like, okay, we're done. If you're all clean, you're happy to get out. I'm gonna take some alone time to like, yeah, I don't know. I just my shower time is like the akin to like most people's like morning coffee. You know what I mean? Or
Weird.
like people who like to sit and read the paper or do something every morning. Shower time is my like self reflection time.
Weird. Okay. I'm the opposite. If we're showering together, I'll be like, I'm done. I'm gonna go play Apex while you finish up.
Yeah, no, I need alone time in the shower. And that, I know
Okay.
that
We're
probably
just
people are
jerking.
going to be
We're
like,
just
"You want
jerking
to
it.
jerk off?"
We're just
But it's
jerking it.
like,
That's okay.
no,
You're
it's
pooping. You're pooping.
I
First it
am
was the kitty
pooping
litter. Now it's the
everywhere.
shower.
Okay, so how does this woman broach the subject with her boyfriend, who she
So
thinks might have a poop fetish?
okay, firstly, I'm still hung up on the residue. Like, I don't understand how you can't tell. It's poop or it's not. How is there a point between it being cleaned and it being not cleaned that make you unsure whether it's poop or not? But anyway, moving on. That's how you do it. You go, hey, what's this residue on the wall here? And see what
Yeah,
he says. And if he has a reasonable explanation, cool. And if not, like maybe if he's like, be like, what? Is there something like, did you do something in here? And like, you know, or just have a talk about like sexual fantasies and see if he brings it up of his own accord. Or like next time he jokes, maybe be like, well, people definitely, have those somewhere and just kind of take it a little bit more seriously and getting an actual chat about it. Right?
yeah,
Just be like, oh yeah, I know people actually like do that or whatever. Or like I've heard like a friend of mine had someone who was into that and just see what they say. Or just be like, hey, you've been joking about this an awful lot. Is there a reason behind it? But I think definitely first talk about this residue.
yeah. You need to solve the mystery residue first,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe the poop is a smokescreen for something more sinister. Maybe some sort of like, you know, eldritch horror.
Mm-hmm.
that is, he needs to be in the shower, and the way
It's
he, I don't
pulling.
know.
Maybe poop stands for like pulling omniscience overlords purposely. So he pulls these omniscient overlords into the shower for a dastardly purpose because he's doing it on purpose, and they leave behind like sulfur. Maybe it's sulfur.
Maybe it's
Does this?
sulfur.
Have you sniffed the residue? Is it poop? Surely you know if it's poop.
Does your boyfriend have tentacles?
Does he have tentacles? Yes. Also, like this is. Did they? She say it's been a week.
Oh yeah, but it's been going on for like a full week. Yes.
So a week is a wildly short time to go from that's a joke to I think he shits in the shower for sexual gratification.
Well, it also depends on how much he's doing. Imagine if literally every interaction you had with your partner, she made a reference to like pooping in the shower.
Oh, she
Like
does.
it would, it would like it would put something on the
Yeah,
radar, being like,
I
"Why
guess.
are you?" It would be like, if every time you had the conversation, you were just like, if you were making dinner, you'd be like, "Hey, it'd be fun if we had a third person here cooking dinner with us." You know what I mean? And constantly angling for a threesome. It's like instead of just bringing it up.
To be
So,
fair, I do constantly say it would be more fun if Kyle was there because he's very good at cooking.
yeah, I can't blame you on that.
Um, but yeah, I feel like it's a very rapid time. But you're right. If it is all the time, okay, you got to go talk about the residue. Find an answer, whether it's the truth or a lie. You still need a solid answer before you move on to step two. Step two being engage the joke, or just straight up ask. But I feel like if you engage the joke and get in a more kind of like serious conversation, maybe they'll feel comfortable about talking, or maybe they'll drop more clues. Because if this is a breadcrumb trail, get them to drop down some croutons now. Well, thicker breadcrumbs got more bite to them.
Here's my suggestion. Invite him into the shower for sexy times, and once you guys are in the shower together,
Take a shit.
be like, "Well, are you gonna poop? You're always talking about pooping in the shower. Poop for me." And if he seems super into it, question or problem solved. If he's like, "Oh
What
no,
if
fuck
he's
that,"
super into pranks and he thinks she's joking and he just gets a boner because he knows he's fucking with her by pooping, and then you think he's into poop, but he's just into pranks?
but if he doesn't poop, then we can, you know what I mean? Because if he's into poop, he would poop, right?
Yeah, but if he was dared to poop and called on his bluff, and he's one of those people that's like, now I got to do it, he'd just poop anyway. And then you think he
Maybe.
has a poop sex fetish.
Well, there you go. Problem solved.
Yeah, I feel like you really got to just like talk to them or just kind of engage with the joke and see if they do get actually serious about it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with saying like, "Hey, you've been making this joke for 7 days, multiple times during the day. Is there something you want to tell me? Like, I'm cool. Like, if you want to talk to me about this shower poop thing, let's talk about it. It's like whatever. But otherwise, the joke isn't funny anymore. Get some new material."
I agree. Good luck. Please let us know.
Yeah. Also, if you figure out what this residue is, please, we gotta
Yeah,
know.
I'm confused. Well, we're keeping it in the toilet. This is by
Perfect.
the creep master. My 21-year-old male girlfriend's 25-year-old female toilet is too small, and I have no idea what to do. So I understand many of the posts here are creative writing projects, but I've got nowhere else to go for this problem. As I stated in my title, my girlfriend's house's toilet is nonsensically low to the ground, but also
Okay, hold on. Can I interrupt here? What subreddit did he post this in?
relationship advice. Why?
Didn't you say something about creative writing?
I think he's saying a lot of the posts he doesn't believe.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
this is from relationship advice, and he was just, I guess, casting shade on other unrealistic questions.
Gotcha.
It's her toilet is nonsensically low to the ground while also being ridiculously small. I get this doesn't seem like a problem at the outset, but let me explain. I can't take a leak into it standing up. To do so, I'd have to angle it either straight down or stand so far away I'd be on the other wall in what is already a small bathroom. Never going to do that. It's a recipe for pissing on the toilet, wall, rug, and possibly the cat too. So solution, obviously, you might think I sit down on the convenient seat and let nature call, right? No, because when I do that, my goddamn dick goes under the fucking toilet water. I gotta squat over the toilet, reach down, and pull the whole situation up just so I can go. This isn't me saying big dick problems, all right? I have a normal sized dick, a little on the small side even, not afraid to admit it. The toilet is just that small, and I swear the water is higher percentage wise than it is than on normal toilets. I don't know what to do. Don't know if I should say something or if I should keep quiet or if I should hold in my piss all day like I'm in high school. You guys gotta help me here. This toilet is fucking with me, okay?
Hold on. Why would you hold your piss in high school?
I know. So many people are questioning, like, hey, wait, what? Oh.
I remember there was one day in my, like, I think it was junior high, where the grade 6s and 7s were on the main floor, and then most of the grade 8 classes were on the upstairs. And I remember there was a day I was in grade 6 and they were cleaning the downstairs washrooms for whatever reason. And I was like, oh, I can't go upstairs to the grade 8 bathroom because I was, for whatever reason, fucking scared of it. Yeah. So I held until I got home. But like, other than that, like, at no point in time was I ever like, can't piss, man, gotta hold it.
What if this person just has, like, I don't know, toilet complex, and like this is a real toilet, a normal sized toilet, and in his head he's just like, it's the return of his like high school like pee fixation.
Well, a lot of the things he said doesn't make any sense. Like, what does he mean by the toilet is so small that he either has to stand on top of it or across the room from it?
I don't understand.
Like, in terms of physics, none of that makes sense.
Yeah, also, like, what's wrong with just standing above it and just pissing down?
Yeah,
your dick just hangs there. It's like,
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, technically, I could do that with a normal-sized toilet. Like, I can stand over a normal-sized toilet and pee straight down.
Yeah, 100%.
What about the shape or size of this toilet? It means that you can't take one step back.
Yeah.
And pee in it normally.
I honestly, I don't know. I'm so confused. Why is the water so high in this toilet?
Like, I get it. There was a toilet when we were in Europe, and I can't remember. I mean, one, Amsterdam has weird toilets where, like, they have a poop shelf. But there was another, I can't remember where it was, but there were a bunch of the toilets where it's like if you sat down, the water was so high that you were, you were dipping.
In danger of putting a little beak in there.
So, like, I know there are toilets out there that exist. So, but like, that's a poop problem. I don't understand how the size of the toilet or the water content in the toilet affects how you pee.
Yeah, I honestly do not know. And the thing is, you could just pee in the shower. We've had so many questions about that. You could, if you were in that much trouble, you could pee in the shower. Probably not a great thing to do all the time. And that's where the pooping problem comes in. I don't understand. Like, I wish I had a picture of this toilet because it is impossible for me to picture.
I can't wrap my head around it. Because the thing is, all these problems make sense to me if he was talking about pooping. But he doesn't mention pooping once.
Not even at all.
He specifically only talks about peeing, which to me is the easiest of the two functions when it comes to toilet-related problems.
Like, if someone just put a cup on the ground, it would be a lot further down and a lot smaller, and I could still probably manage it.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I could probably, like, there's probably nothing in the world that I couldn't pee in or use as a pee receptacle.
Yeah. There'd be various, like, there'd be a little bit
degrees of success.
Errant drops, maybe, but like a quick wipe, that's all done, right? I don't get it.
I don't know, man.
I was hoping you'd have the answer.
Here's the thing. If we're just gonna go with what he says and not question, the very laws that bind us to this moral world, just talk to your girlfriend and be like, hey, I like, if prefer to be at your place. Just be like, hey, I would love to stay over tonight, but your toilet is too small for me. And it's difficult for me to use. And it's like, if she doesn't understand what you're meaning, maybe she can show you how human beings use toilets. Or she could be like, okay, sorry for the inconvenience. That's fair. Because I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'7" on a good day. And I once was seeing a woman whose bathroom, like, the toilet faced directly into a wall in an alcove. And I literally could not sit down in it because the wall was so close to the toilet that, like, my knees. So, like, I pretty much either had to, like, squat or, like,
go sideways.
So, like, I get it. I understand the difficulties of poorly placed toilets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like you got to talk to her. What if it's not a toilet?
It's like a bidet.
Yeah, maybe it's like a malfunctioning bidet, or it's just like a bucket or something. Like, is it possible that this isn't a toilet?
that he's not even in the bathroom. He's like in the laundry room and he's just like
Yeah.
peeing in the washing machine.
I don't even know. Um, Also, okay, so I think there might be a way to lower the level of water in your toilet. So you might want to have a look online for that and or contact a plumber because that would at least help a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Other than that, you really got to just talk to this person and ask why they have a child's toilet or like a goblin's toilet.
Hey, imagine, does she have a kid? Is she potty training? Are you using a child's
Is it a
potty?
potty? Yeah, like is it an already used potty, which is why it's full?
I don't know, man.
Like a gross
I
thing to
honestly,
dip your dick into.
yeah, it's not the
Yeah.
best.
So you just gotta talk to her, man. And yeah, like, why would you not talk to her? I love he's like, should I talk to her? Should I keep quiet? Should I hold in my piss all day? These are not good options. Just talk
Like
to
a
her.
totally normal high school student.
Yeah. Oh man. What if it's like an ongoing prank? Like these kids told him that he couldn't pee in high school, and now the same kids are in cahoots with his girlfriend, and they're just like they've made this ridiculous. They've constructed this horrendous toilet. Is it like an ongoing prank?
I don't know. Anytime I read things like that, I'm always like, is that a thing? Am I the weird person for peeing in high school? Or is this person weird for saying it? Like the amount of times it's happened where someone like will make a statement just like off the cuff like that, where I'm like, oh,
Like,
am I a
huh?
fucking weird? Are you a weirdo or am I a weirdo? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I'm pretty sure not making kids pee. Kids are like the ones who are allowed to pee whenever they want. This is no. This is not true. Okay, hit me.
This comes from Laser Pterodactyl.
Hell yeah.
Right? My 23-year-old male girlfriend, 22-year-old female, tries to convince me to become blood brothers with her every time she gets drunk. Every time my girlfriend gets drunk, she tries to get me to become blood brothers with her, e.g., prick our fingers and share our blood like they told us not to do in health class. I don't want to do this, just in principle, but she doesn't get why this isn't something I want to do. She'll argue that we share bodily fluids all the time, and what if we just do it next time you cut yourself by accident? I'll just prick myself and it'll be fine. But I really don't want to do that. It's dumb, and I don't want to touch wounds. I'm not sure how to convince her that I'm not on board with this, and she brings it up pretty consistently.
Is she an 11-year-old boy?
Yeah, it's
like a bike gang? Like, bicycle
without
gang?
a doubt, her favorite movie is My Girl. Just like, without a doubt. Ask her what her favorite movie is, and she's going to say My Girl. And for whatever reason, this is like, her idea of on a subconscious level, because if it's only when she gets drunk, that's when the shovel gets out and starts pulling up the buried stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you she thinks it is like the be all and end all of like romantic notions.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like that's the only thing I can think of, because I'm pretty sure it's My Girl where they do that. I'm pretty sure they become blood.
I don't know, but it sounds right.
Which leads me to be worried. Are you allergic to bees? Maybe it goes a little more sinister than just wanting to reenact a cute scene from a movie. Maybe she's going to try to like just make this whole thing.
Wait, is she the My Girl murderer? Have we found the My Girl killer?
So if you're allergic to bees, you need to get the hell out of there, because she is going to bee murder you.
She tracks down people who are allergic to bees, becomes blood brothers with them, and then ends their life via bees.
Is she the daughter of Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah, it's pretty important to find out. Yeah, that's...
So how do we deal with this?
I think you got to talk to her when she's sober.
Uh-huh.
Or, okay, no. Fuck it. You don't talk to her. That's a fool's gambit. What you do is you watch My Girl together without like asking her if she likes the movie, without anything. Just be like, oh, there's got this movie I want to watch. Throw on My Girl, and then fucking just bomb on this movie the entire time. Be like, this is so dumb. This is so fucking dumb the entire time. And when she bursts into tears and runs out of the house, she'll either break up with you or never suggest it again.
Yeah, that's a move.
No,
also, make sure you like just vomit as soon as they do the Blood Brothers thing. That scene, just eat some day old sushi or something, and just make sure you're real ill.
When the bees come on screen, just scream. Just keep screaming until the movie's over. Yeah, okay, so for real though, talk to her while she's sober. Mm-hmm. Trying to get a drunk girl to change her mind on anything is a fool's errand. Or a drunk person, right?
Yeah.
Like, if someone has something in their head when they're hammered, like it's not the time for logical discussions. So like when she is sober, just be like, hey, do you remember the fact that you always keep trying to like blood brother me every time you're drunk? And if she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm totally cool with that, then cool. You can have a conversation and explain that, like, look, you do not like it makes you feel physically ill or it grosses you out, just like melding blood. And like, yes, you guys do share bodily fluids, but you know, that doesn't mean all bodily fluids are game. You know what I mean? It's not like, well, we've shared saliva. Let me shit in your mouth.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe just like it's pretty reasonable to be not cool with mixing blood. You know what I mean? That doesn't make you a strange person. And you can be like, look, it's not about you, but like, I just find it, you know, kind of grotty.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you said, just because you swap bodily fluids doesn't mean that you necessarily want to pee on each other. Like
Mhm.
there's a distinction between bodily fluids, and there's a distinction about like the appropriate nature in which they're swapped. And I don't think that you should feel obligated to necessarily mix your blood together with someone, because as someone who's had that proposed to me in, you know, a way, I don't want to take a part in that either. Like there's no part of me that is like, this is a good time.
I really don't think you like. Yeah, you're right. Like, even if you like being peed on or being shat on or anything, it still doesn't mean every other thing is. There's no point where you're like, oh shit, I've reached the limit. Now everything's fair game. You could like everything and not like that. You could love mixing blood and hate saliva. Like, it's up to you, and you should really like be honored on this thing. And I
And
guess
one
like
doesn't, they don't link together. It's like you might have a pee fetish, but it doesn't necessarily mean that like your partner wants you to pee on them.
exactly. So there's a lot of layers to this, all of which mean you're totally allowed to say no to this. So yeah, I would just really try and have a conversation when she's sober, and I guess it just depends like where she goes from there. Like if she starts to tell you that that's not okay, then you guys have a problem, you know. And if it is just like a drunk thing, maybe fixing it when she's sober will stop it from rearing its ugly head when you guys are drunk next.
Yeah. Yeah,
Also,
it's definitely a sober conversation that needs to be had.
you're definitely right. She's totally a My Girl fan. All right. This is a listener submitted question, user submitted question, even. It's by Agent Arwen. Only one lube can be best. Which is it?
Challenging. Okay.
Yeah. Which lube?
I've talked about it before. I'm putting my what's the word? I'm putting my hat on fuck water.
Okay. Any particular reason?
It's water based. It
Mm-hmm.
is an independently owned company. It is a Canadian product. I think it's an Ontario and Toronto product.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's what better name do you want from a lube than fuck water?
Yeah. Fuck water is golden. And it follows the like the age old tradition of people with the word fuck as the first thing in their names. Works for podcasts, works for lube. Also, water based. There's a lot of pros to that because they are safe to use with condoms. They don't stain sheets typically, and they're often cost effective and easy to find. Um, I have a whole list of pros and cons on lubes that I was going to throw out, but I like that you had an instant answer and an instant brand.
Yeah.
We are not sponsored by them yet.
Yet.
In fuck water. So yeah, those are some pros to water based. They often come in two varieties: one with glycerin, which tastes slightly sweeter, or one without glycerin. Glycerin-free products are less likely to cause vaginal irritation and last longer.
That's good
Um,
to know.
yeah. Glycerin-free lubricant can taste bitter though, so it is bad if you like to switch up between oral and penetrative sex, and they can become kind of like sticky or tacky over time. There's also silicone-based lubricants, which last the longest and don't need to be reapplied as often as water-based. Also safe to use with latex condoms and will hold up in the shower, which you should never need to do because shower sex is the worst. What's bad about it is it's harder to wash off. So, like, if you do get it all over your junk, you're gonna really need to like get a big soapy scrub to get rid of it. And they are not recommended for silicone sex toys because it breaks them down, makes them gummy and gross. All right. Then we have oil-based lubricants, and I'm sure you know one of the bad things about oil-based.
Yeah, you need to open the windows and make sure you get good ventilation.
What?
It's like oil paints.
Sure. They break down condoms. So yeah, oil-based lubricants are one that I guess you have to be careful depending on what kind of like safe sex you're practicing, because they can break down latex condoms and stain fabrics also. Also, because it's synthetic, it can irritate your vagina, and they're harder to clear out of your body than your natural counterparts, leading to vaginal infections more often. But they are safe to eat. Oh, sorry, there are two brands or two kind of ways you can get them. You get them natural based, like avocado, coconut, vegetable, or olive oil, kind of like bases, which are great for like massages, safe to eat, and good for the vagina. But synthetic ones are good for external masturbation, not much else. So those are the ones that you want to avoid with your vagina. And then lastly, there are natural oil based lubricants. Oh, sorry, there are natural lubricants that are often free of parabens, which is really good because those can contain health risks, and with organic ingredients that are better for the environment and your vagina, but they are often more expensive. So I don't know if there's necessarily one that's better. I think it all depends on like your wallet, like what you have in your pocket, what you want to use it for, and who you want to use it with.
Have you ever used coconut oil?
No.
I once hooked up with a woman who is very like, she was like the definition of like a new age hippie.
Mm-hmm.
And she was all about like natural products and stuff. And it was surprisingly effective. I wasn't sure how to feel about it because it's like it was thick, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna feel anything with this.
Yeah.
And it was unique. It was a different experience. I don't think I'd ever use it again if I had the choice, but
Mm-hmm.
I do want to encourage people to give it a try because it's an experience. It's definitely the everything else. I think all the other lubes that I've tried are
Mm-hmm.
more or less the same.
Yeah.
But coconut oil was a significantly different sensation.
Yeah, interesting. So yeah, that's the thing. It's like there is no best really. You know what I mean? Like it does all depend on kind of what you're dealing with, what you're working with, what you want to achieve. Um, and there are a bunch of kind of other things to consider. For example, like if you're using a lubricant because of like dryness, anything with glycerin in it can dry you out even further, which is bad. If you're prone from yeast infections, the same can be happen with glycerin too. If you're trying to conceive, you wouldn't want to look at something that is sperm friendly or fertility friendly. Do not use oil based on condoms. Do not use silicone based on sex toys. Um, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff to consider. So I guess we're just gonna provide that information and let you guys figure out which is the best. But also, fuck
Yeah. Also, fuck water. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like you can get it from any sex store in Toronto. I don't know how widely available it is, but I highly, highly recommend it.
yeah, and we'll post a link to basically what I just said there next week or when this comes out, so that you don't just have to listen to my dulcet tones.
But who wouldn't want to?
Thank you, Agent Arwen. All right, so this is by Hymenbaz. My future mother-in-law wants to check my hymen before I marry her son a week from now.
Whoa!
I, 27-year-old female, am from an extremely conservative Christian family, and celibacy is literally a prerequisite for marriage in our community. My fiance, who I've been dating for 3 years, proposed to me right before COVID, and I start planning my dream wedding. I've been planning since it happened in November, and at dinner last night with my future in-laws, my mother-in-law, who has not been against the idea of me marrying her son, asked him to go out of the dining room and asked me if I was a virgin. I said yes, and she said you should have no problem with Isaiah, our pastor of all people, checking you next week. My jaw drops to the floor, and I state that she had a better chance of me turning up dead before I let a stranger poke around in my nether area. I immediately walked out of there, got in my car, and drove home contemplating what just happened. An hour after this, I get a call from my mom, who called to say that her fiance's mama called her and that the wedding is off unless she did the ritual, is what she called it. I started crying, and my mom told me I should just do it, and this crushed me. I spoke to my fiance today, and he insists on me doing it, as according to him, it's a small thing compared to the rest of our lives together. I'm currently at my brother's chateau. My brother was disowned by my parents after he announced he was gay, as he was setting up his company, which also tends to the LGBTQ community. I don't know what to do. Should I do it or should I not? And whether there are more sides to my fiance's parents which may make me even more disgusted by them. I have half a mind to do the ritual, which I deem assault. My brother has committed to support me no matter what I choose. I'm currently receiving calls from my parents about all the money they would lose if the wedding does not happen.
I mean, I think there's a lot of problems in
Yeah.
this. I mean, one, we've talked about it before, virginity is a social construct. It's
Mm-hmm.
fucked that you are essentially in a community that operates based on like 15th century like
Yeah, like
vaginal dowries. Like what the
send,
hell?
send them a fucking calendar. Just be like,
Yeah.
hey guys, 2020. Like I know we brought like I know we're dealing with a lot of terrible bullshit from the past, but let's not add this to it.
Yeah, like that, and I don't know if like that is gonna reach this question asker because they seem to be in
I
a
know. I'm
willing participant.
that's not me
Um,
being serious. That's me being snarky.
no, no, but like what I'm saying is like this is fucked. And unfortunately, I think religious indoctrination is going to prevent her from seeing the full scope.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like this should never happen. This should never be a thing. Your worth as a human being and a woman should not be dictated whether or not your hymen is still intact.
Yeah, which also like it probably isn't if you're an active woman. You know, like literally, most women by the time they reach a certain age, it is gone just by very dint of them, like being physically active.
Yeah, riding bikes, riding horses, all that
Yeah,
shit
doing a
is.
bunch of different shit. You know what I mean? Like it's a complete fucking like fabrication that it would have any indication on whether you've been sexually active or not, which also shouldn't fucking matter.
Yeah, and like with that, put that off to the side. There's now like your parents are pressuring you to do something that you're not comfortable with because they're gonna get money.
Yeah, that's
Like,
bullshit.
like what money are they getting from you getting married? Like that's not how marriage. Like again, in the 15th century, when dowries existed, and you made land, you traded land for human beings and livestock and
Mhm.
shit. Sure, but like
I
in
assume
in this century, what money are they losing?
I assume it's more like they probably paid for like the venue and shit, right? So it's like
Okay, fair
they're probably
enough.
like if the wedding doesn't happen, hey, who knows if they're this backwards? Like, who knows if they're getting a dowry or some shit? Like, but I assume it's like the money they've put in towards like
Yeah, no,
planning
you're probably right.
and booking shit. And I think it really sucks that your fiance is so. I don't know what the term is, but like that he like to be so oblivious to be like, oh, it's a small thing. It's like, yeah, you don't have to do shit, so fuck you, man.
That's the thing. It's like you now have to come to the conclusion that your partner, the person you want to spend the rest of your life, does not have your back.
Yeah,
Because what other requests are your parents or his parents going to have from you?
yeah,
And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, he's not going to stand up for you.
yeah. Like,
You
what
know what I mean?
else
This,
is just a small thing compared to the rest of your lives together?
yeah, exactly. It's like, are you then going to have to have kids when they want you to? Like, it doesn't seem like you are a participant in this relationship.
No, you're a
It's
pawn.
it seems like you're a commodity and
Mhm.
you've been traded for and you've now signed the contract, and this is now like popping the hood to make sure the motor still runs kind of
Yeah,
situation, like, and it's fucked. That's not how human beings should be treated.
no, and like you are not happy with it, and you shouldn't have to compromise your happiness and your like body just to make other people happy, especially when one of those people is meant to one of them is meant to be like your life partner, is meant to literally have your back before anybody else, more than anybody else, and your family are meant to be like pretty much up there, if not equal, then second place, and his family should be just behind them. You know what I mean? Like it should be the three people that have your back the most. Instead, it's three people that clearly don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to look at what's happened to your brother as
Yeah,
well. It's like people are like your family is supposed to care for each other and take care of each other. He was disowned because of something trivial as being gay. Um, so it's like, do you really want to be a part of a family and a society and a culture that is so quick to throw away people they don't agree with? Or,
hmm,
you know what I mean? Like, you seem to know that there's nothing wrong with being gay. Why do you want to be a part of a culture and a society that still thinks that? It doesn't
yeah.
make any sense to me. It's
And
like,
also,
to me, all these things should build up to you being like, I don't want any part of this. And I understand that's a difficult, it's easy for me to sit back and say that. because I'm not the one at risk losing everything.
Yeah.
But it's something to consider. You really need to stop and think and be like, hey, is it worth giving up my privacy? Is it worth giving up my dignity? Is it worth giving up my family to bend to the will and of this weird religious hierarchy?
When does it become a thing that now that you're his wife, like, will it ever become a point where they don't want you to go and see your brother? You know what I mean? Because once
Yeah,
you're kind of like indoctrinated in a little further, once you've been entrenched, to the point where it's even harder to get out, when's the next demand going to come? You know what I mean? Because like this is probably just the trial period of when, the full program kicks in. Because like people like that, if you're going to disown a member of your family, you're not then going to be cool with another member of your family, like hanging out with them. I'm assuming, you know?
yeah, you're pretty much setting yourself up for isolation in the
Yeah.
sense that no one's going to have your back. You've already proven that your parents don't have your back, your partner doesn't have your back, and your parents-in-law or your mother-in-law doesn't have your back. The only person who seems to give a shit about what you want is your brother. And like you said, I can pretty much guarantee you that once this is all said and done, you are going to be shunned if you know what I mean? It's going to be more of the same guilt trip, more of the like, well, darling, if you cared about our life together, you won't see him. You can't see him. You can't
Yeah.
talk to him. And now all of a sudden you're the only person who's left standing
Yeah.
in
I
a
think
family that clearly does not care about you.
Yeah, I think like literally on the at the very least, you need to postpone this wedding. You need to stand your ground and say, I am not going to marry you yet. You don't need to end the relationship if you don't want to, but I really do think you need to take some time to have yourself think this over and realize how things are going to go, and have for them to think things over and realize how things are going to go. Because over the next few weeks or months, what you're going to see is these people are either going to back off and be like, look, you're right. Okay, we're sorry. Let's find another way. Or they're going to double down, at which case the ultimatums and the threats are going to start happening. And if
Yep.
that's the case, you know that you never want to be in a situation with those people beside you for the rest of your life. Because if this is what they're going to do for something like this, guess what they're going to do for other shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I think right now you don't have to end the entire relationship if you don't want to, although there are a lot of arguments that you should. But I do think you got to, at the very least, massively delay this, take some time, and see what happens next. Because if they're that type of people, you're going to know enough to get out of there, hopefully.
Also, what's he doing to prove he's a virgin?
Yeah, exactly.
Is he taking a fucking lie detector test, a polygraph to prove that he's hasn't slept with anyone? Like, fuck off.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if I mentioned he is male, so no one gives a shit apparently.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. So it's a giant double standard.
Yeah, this is something if you believe in, you need to realize. Also, I'm assuming it's Christianity,
Mhm.
or Catholic or something of that sort. Um, you can be those things. Like you can still hold religious views and not be this backwards. Like
Mhm.
it's not mutually exclusive. Like you can be a progressive Christian, you can be a progressive Catholic. Like that is allowed. Also, and you can use your religion and filter it through however you want. If you feel closest to God, that doesn't mean you have to disown your brother. Which clearly your idea of what religion is and your idea of what God is different from these people because you haven't disowned your brother.
Yeah.
So I do want to stress to people that like turning your back on toxic families and toxic societies and toxic cultures doesn't necessarily mean you have to turn your back on your faith.
Mhm.
Because
And
I
like,
promise you can find a church that you might have to go out of state or out of town or whatever. You might have to relocate, which sucks, but it's better than being controlled your entire life, I would assume.
and like the fucking irony is that usually in all these religions, the main kind of tenets are like be good to people, treat your neighbor how you treat yourself. Like, it's all about being good and being positive and inclusive and all this shit. So it's so bizarre to me when this ends up being like the way people, you know, interpret that, because that's not being inclusive. That's not being anything good. And it's like, do you really think God's up there being like, hey, go check, she's a virgin? like, oh, gotta make sure she hasn't had sex. You know what I mean? If God cared that much, he'd strike people down with lightning when they had sex. And guess what? He doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where, you know, I wish people actually like paid attention to what, you know, the backbone of the religion was before they got into the minutiae, because the backbone is be good to people. So it's like, if you're not doing that part, you're already a shit Christian.
Also, we have to remember that all these things were created 2,000 years ago or later. Yeah. So it's if those are the standards, if you want to keep society in the past that far back, then there's another problem. But I mean, we can go on about the problems of institutionalized religion and indoctrination and everything forever.
But yeah, just look after yourself, because this is your life and you need people by your side that care about you.
Yeah, I promise you'd probably find a more rewarding life working with your brother and his organization than you will with this man. Yeah. And that might seem harsh, that might seem, but like from the information that is given to us, I feel like you would find a far more satisfying life with your brother than with this guy.
So marry your brother.
Marry your brother. You're probably in a state that allows it.
No.
Hey, with that being said, I think we're going to call it, because everything is sweaty.
Yeah, it's so goddamn warm.
Thank you very much for listening. If you are still out there protesting, we support you. We hope you're being safe. We hope you're being, as aware of everything that else that is going on with COVID and everything else. We hope you're doing okay, and we thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day to give us a listen. If you have a question that you'd like to send to us or ask us or, have us discuss, you can send it to facebook.com/FCK Buddies You can find us on Twitter at FCK_Buddies. You can hit us up on on the internet at www.fbuddyspodcast.com or plentyofbeef.ca, or you can email us at fbuddiespodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah. Thank you to Josh Eagle on the Harvest Cities for their song Paper Stars. All right, we ready for some bad sex writing?
Yes. Is it more poetry?
It isn't. I could do more poetry if you want.
No, I need some poetry.
Okay. All right, let me find some fucking poetry then, Daniel.
And now please remember how to do it. Please do it right.
You know I will. Or will I? So this is another one by Dean. Oh, howest hath my flesh bliss in the tenebrous limpidity of thy cunt's hole, howest? Have joy hidden in the indigo shadows of thy cunt's folds, howest? Have blissed fromst thy kiss, je savre, l'angoisse idile d'attendre. Look I upon that pool of desire boiling with fire, reflecting the lust of, like a sun, burning in the sky, those lips ignite with the gaze of, clocked in the scent of bluebells, ooh, howest the senses of gloat upon thee that multiplies my sensations unto infinity, the gleams of dew, the glitter of shadows wrap up in the web of delights. Ah, to breathe in thy scent, to repose in thy cunt, blooming flower for eternity. But oh, only an eternity of agony, waiting for the kiss that never comes to take away the dolor of ne'er to be fulfilled or sated. Oh, she that viper in female flesh. Are you aroused?
I don't know what I am, but I don't think aroused is the word.
Well, Dean didn't do his job. I'll tell him that. I'll email him right now.
Please do. Okay, to end this, I've got a choice comment from the Pornhub comment section. This comes from Pornhub user MinecraftFan445. Wait, this isn't how to ride pig in Minecraft? My name is Dave Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain.
And we have been your fuck buddies.
Stay safe.